Morning, everybody. Let's do a Garden Railroad update this morning. Hey, everybody. Somebody made the request that they wanted to see sort of how I went about fixing the track after the winter. And actually, I'm going to do a little bit more this year than I usually do. First thing I did was I borrowed my friend's truck and I went to the gravel pit. I got 1,000 pounds of number 9 gravel. Some people say crusher fines. And I asked them one time, I said, I want some crusher fines. And she gave me a blank stare, says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyhow, number 9 it's pretty good size. It's obviously out of scale for G-scale, but again, I don't worry about it. So I have several levels. I've got this little string level, which fits perfect across the track. I've got a 2-foot level. I've got a 4-foot level. And then I've got the little torpedo level around here somewhere. Oh, sitting underneath this one. So between this, I can get the track pretty level. So what it is, I started on this section right here. I've got it level lengthwise and side to side. And I'm going to work my way around this way. So what I have noticed is this track tends to tilt a little bit. And this track too. You can see how this one's tilted like it's super elevated, and this has got like a reverse super elevation almost. I use the rail clamps, so I'm going to loosen the rail clamps up before I do this, and then I'm going to get the track level, and then I'll tighten everything back down. So this section is pretty good now. Actually, what I ended up doing is I ended up taking out this whole section. I loosened the rail clamps here, and I went down over to where it comes into that turnout right there, and I just took this whole piece out here. There's several sections, but if they're hooked together with the rail clamps, you can lift it out as one spot. And actually, I got a hoe, and I just cleaned out all the old ballast and mud and stuff, and it's in the bucket here. And then I put the track back down and I leveled it up with new ballast, and I had to do the same thing for this middle track here too. This track is just an abandoned track. I put it in there. I had a couple pieces of extra track, and I thought, well, I'll make it look like there used to be a yard here or something. That's never been a track. It's just like a little bit of history, and you can see the rails I have stored down there. That's just had an old turnout that fell apart. I just painted it rusty and put it down there. So this section is pretty much done around to the tunnel. I'm not going to do the yard at this time because my long-term plans for this railroad are still up in the air. I'm still thinking about going back to a logging railroad at some point. And if I do that, this town will disappear, because right here the line will, I'm still going to keep the loop, so I can always run trains in a loop, but I will have, it will go up and terminate there and come back with a switchback, and then it will come climb on the switchback. So I'll have to build all this up pretty high, and it'll cross over up into the upper loop, and the upper loop will be gone too. So basically I'll be running shays and climaxes and have a logging railroad. I did the diesels when I first started this because I didn't have the N-scale railroad. This was all I had, and the diesels was sort of my my first love. But I've always I love Cass, West Virginia. I love shay locomotives, so I do have some. So now that I'm running diesels inside, I may go back to steam outside, or fake steam outside. So I'm not going to redo the yard at this time, is what I'm saying. I'll make sure it's level and everything, but I'm not going to like replace all the gravel. I'm going to keep working around the main line, going this way. I know getting around to the trestle, I know it's a bad spot over there, so just keep on working. Well, here's another real problem area on the Garden Railroad. It just is not level. It just always wants to super elevate. And while going around it, I found out that my trestle that's been deteriorating for years is really starting to get bad. So I think probably the time has come to replace it pretty soon. What I think I'm going to do is try to milk it through this year and replace it in the winter. It'll still hold a train. There's no problem with holding a train on it, but it's starting to look pretty bad. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to take up the track right here and scrape away all that gravel, level it out, and then I'll be pretty good. I've got to do a little bit more in the S-curve and a little bit more on this side of the tunnel, but the other end is all done. So I'll give you a picture of that when I'm done. Well, I think I've got it in good shape, except for the trestle. Took today off. They had a big dog and pony show at work. I wanted to avoid it. Some people from the State Department and Japanese embassy. Sounded like something I needed to not be there for. So anyhow, since I was going to work on the railroad, I thought I would get a work train out. So we'll just follow him around here. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot in the yard. I do have some of this metal edging left. I may actually replace my retaining wall here that's falling apart, that metal edging, but I don't know if I have quite enough. So you can see I freshened up the ballast everywhere. Section right in here, I had to dig it out completely, new trench, leveled the track, and put down fresh ballast. That phlox looks pretty this time of year, but it'll get burned up in August. The trestle will hold out for another year, even though it looks kind of rough. So I've got some more stuff to do, but I mean, I've got one of the posts on that building fell off, need to fix that. Just little odds and ends. My grade crossing here that I built, it just deteriorated, so I took it completely apart. My wife is going to go tomorrow and buy a bunch of plants, because I told her I want plants all the way down through here. I want some plants up there around where that rock is. It needs to be more green than it is, because the plant that was here died. The plant that was here died. I did plant that. I got that at Lowe's. It's some kind of lily. You know, I need to freshen up the plants, which I guess every now and then you have to do in a garden railroad. Sometimes they get too big. Speaking of too big, you see all the fresh growth on these Alberta spruces. We're going to have to trim those. I'm hoping I can find a YouTube video how to do it. So anyhow, I hope everybody enjoyed this. And, everybody stay safe. It's not garden railroad related, but it is garden related. Sort of you saw this in the background, our mess the other day. I was sort of showing Chance. This is my wife and one of her friends. Did a bunch of planting today. We hauled a bunch of dirt, and obviously it's not done. That metal edging was looks good. It's pretty cool, but it's a pain in the butt to put in. That's going to be a squash tunnel back there. so anyhow, it's getting there. My wife and I have been working really hard on it, more her than me, but thought you'd like to see it. All right, I think I told you my wife was going to go get some plants, and she did, and we've been working pretty hard. So I didn't do anything on that loop other than plant some plants, but you can see I got the hedge trimmers out and I attacked those trees. Not a professional job, but look a lot better. So, got a couple plants here. Just walk around the garden. Had a plant there last year that died, so we got a different plant there now. Of course, I've obviously got some mulch now. I've got the pond on a timer, so it doesn't run all night long. Tends to lose water in the summertime when it's real hot, so we just run it a little bit, you know, during the day. So again, the phlox looks pretty good right now. We did add some plants up here. We call that Arrowhead rock. That's a rock I found at a friend's house. We put a plant here, got some mulch in. Plant up here and some mulch. It's looking pretty good down in there, but again, the trestle is pretty rough. We put a plant here along with the mulch, and I got my pulpwood loading truck out. And we didn't put a plant right there. There's not enough soil really to do it, so we didn't put one there. But all down through here, well, this plant was a carryover, but this is a new plant, and these are all new plants down through here. And of course, that's the plant I showed you in the previous video. Had a low spot right here when I was running the train. Oh, I forgot to put my logs back for the sawmill. They're looking kind of ratty. I need to cut some more. But the had a low spot right here when I was running the train. All of a sudden it uncoupled. It didn't derail, it just uncoupled. The couplers were rode up over them. So I actually put these pieces of wood down there, raised it up, filled it in with ballast, and after the sits for, you know, a couple weeks, gets rained on, ballast locks in place, I can probably take that wood out. So the plans are, there's Mouse, and Tux is over here on the porch. He was looking at me a minute ago. Now he's looking away from me. Tux! There he is. So the plans are, we'll have an operation video for you in the N scale on Sunday. I'll have a building update on Wednesday, and next weekend, if the weather cooperates, I will do operation on this for Saturday and Sunday, sort of break up the N scale. So that's it for now. Hope everybody stays safe, has a good weekend.